Here's what it actually looks like to make a decision as an emotional authority generator or manifesting generator. A client of mine who is an emotional authority generator asked me if she has to say yes or no first with her sacral and then write out her emotional wave, or if she needs to write out her emotional wave and then say yes or no with her sacral. I've heard this question a lot of times, so here it goes. It's always the sacral first. Whether you are an emotional authority or not, you're a generator primarily, right? Whether you're a manifesting generator, you have a sacral first. And your sacral is here to respond, right? So I come to you and I say, hey, do you want to go out to dinner with me this Friday, right? Or whatever. And your first response with your sacral is, yeah, I want to go, right? Now, this is where the emotional authority comes in. And one thing I want to mention is that emotional authority and even just like making decisions, we're not talking about minute decisions. Like you won't wait out your emotional wave when it comes to eating breakfast or having coffee in the morning, right? That otherwise we would all be just like floating around for ages without making any kind of decision, right? Until our wave is clear. But when your sacral says, for example, the reason to wait out this emotional wave is because the emotional wave can sometimes change the way you perceive the situation or you perceive this decision. And by the time you've seen all the angles, you've seen all the layers of the decision, you come out to the end of your wave, and what was originally an to the dinner on Friday is actually no. You get to that clarity point and you're like, actually, no, I don't want to go, right? That's the main reason why we say wait out your emotional wave, because you're making a decision from a place of excitement or place of right? And like, oh, yes, I want to go, will lead to resentment and regret and just disappointment. So if you say to this dinner, and by the time your emotional wave is done, Tuesday evening or Tuesday morning, you wake up and you're like, okay, yeah, I still want to go, right? Like you might still want to go, but it also actually might be absolutely So in this case, for example, we have a manifesting generator who is an emotional authority. So we have this wave 4130, and this is collective energy. And collective energy, collective emotional wave is all about desire, right? And the thing with emotional collective wave, is that it builds up and it crashes very quickly. Builds up and it crashes, and it has a lot to do with unrealistic expectations around the decision around, expectations are built up, and then the disappointment kicks in, and like the wave crashes when the expectation is not met. With 4130 and with the emotional wave of this kind, it's important to remember that the clarity comes when the wave crashes, right? This is in that moment of crashing of the wave is when actually the clarity comes in. So this person would, if I came to this person and said, hey, Jessica, do you want to go out to dinner with me? She might be very quick to say, right? And then the next thing her expectation is that maybe we will have like a great time or something, right? Like, or they will go to some great restaurant or whatever, right? Like, and then, she says, from the place of expectation, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with expectations, but we're talking about the emotional wave, right? So her expectation kicks in, and then by the time she has dinner with me, if she doesn't wait out her wave, her expectation might not be met. So, I would say ride out your emotional wave and see how you feel in a day, couple of days, or whatever, right? She might come up with a completely different answer in 2 days. So it's always the sacral first, right? And then whatever the sacral is, hopefully it'll keep its baseline. It'll still stay the same, by the end, but it might not, right? You might say, correctly with your sacral, but then you ride out your wave and you experience all the, the nuances of the wave. You come to the end, you're like, nah, I don't want to go out Friday at all, right? Like I just want to stay home and watch Netflix and, pet my dog or whatever, right? So that's why it's important to, I always say an emotional wave that you don't write out, that emotional decision is always a regret waiting to happen, right? For emotional authority people. So wait it out and see how you feel at the end of it. If it's still a yes, go. If it's a or you're like, ugh, I don't want to do it, don't do it, right? That's why we wait out the emotional.